Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jaded Blossom, and I have a fun Christmas card to share with you today. Hey, so I'm using Jaded Blossom's Gnome Faces stamp set. They're border dies too. They're Gnome Dies Winter add-ons. They're Gnome Dies Girl Face add-ons. They're Girl Gnome Dies. They're Gnome Dies Sign add-ons. They're Build-A-Booth Winter add-ons. They're Build-A-Booth die set. Their Hot Cocoa Bar stamp set, their Winter's Gnoming stamp set, and their Reindeer Feed stamp set. And I'm using Doodlebugs, or first of all, the lawn trimmings. That's from Lawn Fawn. Okay, the odds and ends, Snow Much Fun from Doodlebug, P13 stamping pad skin tones from Jaded Blossom, the Winter Wonderland 6-inch pad from Doodlebug, the Candy Stripe and Sprinkles, Plaid Polka Dot from Doodlebug, and Buffalo Check Wood Grain from Doodlebug. The Lawn Fawn trimmings was called Pretty and Pink Sparkle Hemp Cord, by the way. Now I put these ones together on the Build-A-Booth Winter Add-ons assembly video, so check that out. And then I'm also using sprinkles from Doodlebug, Love You More, and Heartwarming. So first I've got a piece of paper tray ink cardstock cut at 4.25 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches, with my Martha Stewart scoreboard and my Teflon bone folder. I'm adding a 1-inch strip of paper from that Winter Wonderland 6-inch pad from Doodlebug to the inside, about 1/4 inch from the bottom. Now I'm going to be using a few little pieces of ephemera from the, Snow Much Fun Odds and Ends set. Doodlebug releases these to go with a lot of their pads. And, you could use any of them, whatever matches what you're going on, like what you have going on. So since I'm going to have a booth with mittens and toques, I thought I would do that. So I'm going to add 3 snowflakes as well. Just using my Barely Art glue and my reverse tweezers, also working on my Stampin' Up! Pad, as you can see. All my die cutting today was done with my Anna Griffin Empress machine, which I'm loving. So I do weight it down. Next, I'm going to put together my little girl. So first I started out with her base layer. It's black, it doesn't matter, it won't show. Now I'm adding the Candy Stripe and Sprinkles dress, then her face from P13 Stamping Pad Skin Tones. There we go. And her scarf, that is from the Gnome Dies Winter add-ons. And that's going to be covering up that little V-neck on the dress anyway. So I'm just sticking that down. Then I've got another layer for that. That's that Plaid Polka Dot from Doodlebug. Just lining things up. And there we go. Next I'm pulling out some EK Success chalk. And I'm just going to chalk her little cheeks, make them pink. There we go. I'm pulling out my Misty and I will stamp her little face on here with some VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink. There we go. And remember, you just want to press like really lightly. You're better off stamping more than once than pressing really hard. So there we go. Next, I'm pulling out my Hot Cocoa Bar stamp set, and I'm going to stamp on the Gnome Dies Sign add-ons. That piece I cut out of Nina Desert Storm 80-pound cardstock. There we go. And because I keep forgetting to wash my waffle flower grip mat, I had to put some tape on there. Just need to get it sticky again, but I keep forgetting, right? I don't know why. Okay, so next I'm going to stamp the sentiment Warm Up Here. Like I said, that is from the Hot Cocoa Bar stamp set from Jaded Blossom. And I will stamp that in the same VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink. Now on the inside, I'm going to be adding a few sentiments. So the first one will say Warm Winter Wishes, and then the next one will say Merry Christmas. So I'm using Reindeer Feed for the Merry Christmas, and the other one, the Warm Winter Wishes, is from the Winter's Gnoming stamp set. All from Jaded Blossom. So I'll just stamp that in VersaFine Claire Nocturne ink. And there you go, and I'll set it off to the side. Next, I will add her face on to the face layer with the ears. There we go. And then I'll add this little strip of hair And that is cut from American Crafts brown cardstock. It's got a bit of a texture to it. So I'm just putting that down on the top of this little face. There we go. And I will trim off this hat, a little bit of surgery, and then I'm going to add the new hat. This is cut from the Doodlebug 6-inch plaid polka dot again. So giving her a toque, that's that Gnome Dies Winter add-ons. The little brim is cut from the Candy Strip and Sprinkles from Doodlebug in pink. Same with the pom-pom. So adding all these layers with my Barely Art glue and my reverse tweezers. There we go. I'll add her little nose. Sometimes I pop it up, but this time I'm going to stick it right down. And I'm taking my white Jelly Roll pen from Sakura and number 10 and adding freckles and eye highlights just for fun. And there we go. Next, I'm going to add this hair. This is from the original Girl Gnome die. And I'm just going to tuck that behind her face. And of course, I touch her little freckles. I've got to reapply them, because you got to let those suckers dry before you start messing around, right? But, you know, these things happen. And I do fix them now. I'm just going to add those little freckles back. There we go. So I'm going to pop up the little hands on this sign using Stampin' Up! Dimensionals, and I'm using that same P13 stamping pad skin tones, which you can get over at the Jada Blossom store. Okay, so there is my card. I'm going to add my card layer. This is cut 1/8 of an inch smaller than an A2 size card front, and that is paper from the Winter Wonderland 6-inch pad. It's like an all over pink snowflake pattern, which is fun. So, excuse me, so I'm just going to add that to my card front. Next, I'm going to add this little icicle layer. I cut it first out of Paper Train white cardstock, and then again out of Simon Says Stamps white glitter cardstock. And I'm going to add those two together. I just wanted it to be a little bit thicker, you know, have a little bit more presence on my card. So I'll line that up, and I will weight it down with an acrylic block. Next, I'm going to put together all the little snow drifts, and that's all from the Build-A-Booth Winter Add-ons set. So doing the same thing, 2 layers, you know, Paper Train white layer, and then the Simon Says Stamp white glitter cardstock. So I'm just putting together all the snow layers, and I will weight it down in between just to make sure it dries well. There we go. And there you have it. Oops, I hit my little camera there. Next, I'm going to put together the snowflakes, and I cut those out of Paper Train white cardstock and then again out of Simon Says Stamp glitter cardstock as well. So I'm just weighting them down and putting them together. I do only use 3 of them on my card front. I just put the other ones away to use later on something else. So I am loving making Christmas cards in July. I think it's a lot of fun. And it helps you get ready for Christmas, right? I don't know about you, but it sneaks up on me every year. And I like to get my Christmas cards out in the mail by December 1st, just because that's what I've always done. And I hate that pressure of knowing I haven't made my Christmas cards yet. So I like to get some done in the summer for the Christmas in July. So I'm just, like I said, putting these snowflakes together. Easy peasy stuff. And like I said, it makes it more of an embellishment because it's a bit thicker, right? And there we go. So next I'm going to add these icicles to my little booth. The booth was cut from the wood grain, or the buffalo check wood grain rainbow petite prints from Doodlebug. So it's like a turquoise wood grain. And I weight it down in between. I'm just figuring out where things are going to go. I'm going to have her peeking out of the booth. So I'm going to add some ATG tape to the back of my little booth. And then I will position, add a little bit of ATG tape to the back of her hat. And I'll position her kind of, you know, poking her head out of the booth. And then I'm going to add a little bit more ATG tape to the back of my little gnome. And then I will line this up on my card front. I'm going to have this right at the bottom of my card front, just to allow a little bit more room for the pom-pom. Next, I will add on my little snow drifts, using that Barely Art glue again, and my reverse tweezers. I'm going to add my little hat and mitt banner. And that's from that same Build-A-Booth winter add-on set. And those were put together with Doodlebug's Candy Stripe and Sprinkles and their plaid polka dot in purple and pink. Next, I cut out a piece of Simon Says Stamp white glitter cardstock with the border dies too from Jaded Blossom. And I'm just going to slip that underneath so it looks like there's a little snowdrift there. And I will trim off the overhang with a pair of scissors. Once it dries, I do use my reverse tweezers to kind of hold things tight to dry. Sometimes it's hard when you're gluing on top of glitter cardstock, right? Now I'm going to take my scissors and cut off, like I said, this overhang with my scissors. Just cutting along my card base there, trying to be careful. There we go. Isn't she cute? Pink and turquoise, you gotta love that, and purple, right? Next, I'm going to add this other little snowdrift to the bottom, just to add a little bit of dimension, make things a little bit more pretty, right? And I will use my reverse tweezers. Remember, because you're gluing on top of glitter cardstock again. Next, I'm going to stick down this other little snowdrift, you know, on the other side. Now, this is mostly covered up with a sign, but part of it shows, so there we go. And like I said, using my reverse tweezers, I do have a lot of these, I know. Because you know what? Whenever you're looking for a pair, you lose them. There we go. Super cute. So next I'm going to pop up this little sign that says warm up here. On the front of my card, she's going to be kind of hanging out of her booth with her little sign, you know, come and buy my mittens and hats, right? Or toques in Canada. And we will, so I'm using the small dimensionals and the larger ones from Stampin' Up. There we go. And now I'm going to have her kind of hanging over the edge and holding her sign. So isn't that cute? I just think she's adorable. There we go. Next, I'm going to use that Lawn Fawn trimmings. It's just like some twine. It's actually called Lawn Fawn Pretty in Pink Sparkle Hemp Cord. So I think in the beginning, I think I'm going to knot it, but then I changed my mind because I'm kind of going for that look of, you know, mittens on strings, right? But then I decide to not do that in a second here. It's like, that's going to make a big knot. That's going to be kind of bumpy. I decide to just fold some of that hemp in half, and I'm going to stick it to the back of my hat. And then I will put a mitt on the end of each side of that string, just for fun. There we go. You'll notice that I did use shape sprinkles, those little mini hearts from Doodlebug. I used two different packages. One's called Heartwarming and one's called Love You More, just because it had, one of them had the white and then the other one had the other colors that I used. And there we go. So I'm just adding on the little mitts with some score tape. And then I will add Stampin' Up! Dimensionals behind each item now that everything's stuck in place. And then I can add that to my little booth because how cute is that, right? There we go. So I'm going to add that up here. And there, she's got cute little mitts for sale on toque. And isn't that cute? I just think she's adorable. Next, I'm going to add a few little highlights to these mitts and hat on the inside of my card with my Secura white Jelly Roll pen and a number 10 again. It's kind of my favorite one. It's got a really nice broad line. There we go. Next, I'm pulling out my little snowflakes, and I'm going to pop the bigger ones up with the Stampin' Up! Dimensionals. And the other one I will glue down flat onto my card. So visual triangle, right? One on her hat, one on the lower right, and one mid-left. There we go. But I'll be sticking that right down on my card base. And then that's my card, everybody. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, Be Inspired by the Team, the Jaded Blossom store to get your hands on these amazing products. And thanks as always for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. Make sure to come back and watch another one soon. Bye, everybody.